which I will talk about in a minute. Let me just make sure I'm live with no issues, because I actually already streamed this, and I had an issue because my mic was making noise. So let's listen to this. Am I having issues? Come on. Come on. My phone says it's waiting on me, so hold up. Come on. Perfect. Come on. Alright, no issues. Alright, guys. So let's get into this. So basically, I'm going to be telling you guys the story about how I got my first PSP. And you're probably wondering, wait, for logging in. Okay. Anyways. So basically, I'm going to be telling you guys the story about how I got my first PSP. And, basically, it's actually kind of sad in a way, but it's kind of, you know, ironic. So basically, at my school, there was this one kid, and he had a lot of money. Now, when I was younger, I didn't have much money at all. My family did not have much money. Now, you know, we're in a better place. We've got better, you know, we've got money because my parents worked very hard to get it. However, when I was growing up, you know, from ages 2 to about, honestly, I'd say about 11 or 12, we didn't have much money, and my parents were actually living paycheck to paycheck. We were living in a very run-down apartment with roaches and bed bugs, and we didn't have much money. And, of course, you know, I didn't have much money. And even growing up, you know, my mom was 19 when she had me, so she didn't have much money. And my dad, obviously, you guys already know the whole story with that. So really, you know, they didn't have much money, you know, my mom and my stepdad. However, well, actually, you guys already know anyways. So basically, you know, I didn't have anything. I didn't have an iPod. I didn't have a phone. You know, I didn't have any of that, you know. So, obviously, you know, I'm that kid who doesn't have anything. So, there was this one kid at my school, and he obviously had money. He's always, you know, sporting the newest Jordans, you know. And I was about 9 and a half, you know. And I'm not saying I was that poor where I couldn't afford, like, shoes. You know, I always had one pair of shoes, you know, per year that was new. And, you know, clothes that, you know, weren't torn up or, you know, stuff like that fit me. And basically, this kid always had new clothes. He always had new shoes, you know. He'd always have name brand stuff, polos. Always had, you know, Jordans on his feet. And he always had a lot of money. And he had a lot of electronics for, you know, the time. I think he had an iPhone 4 at the time. And obviously, an iPhone 4 at that time was very, you know, especially for a little kid. Back then, it was shocking. Because, you know, especially to me, I seen it and I was like, wow, you know. And this kid was always mean to me, you know. He'd always talk crap to me, he'd make fun of me, he'd pick on me for not having money. And this was before I fought. I never fought at this time because, you know, I didn't think it was right. Of course, my birth dad always told me, if somebody hits you, hit him back twice as hard. Now, this kid, me and him got into a fight, you know. He didn't snitch on me, none of that. But basically, he ganged up on me. He had a bunch of his friends come after me, and they'd always be messing with me, bullying me, and basically, I snapped, and I couldn't do anything, because if I physically fight him, he's gonna come up against me, and he's gonna pull up on me with, like, 6 people, and, you know, I could hit him, and I could probably take him on. I could probably take one of his friends on with him, but I didn't have any friends that could go against him and all his friends, you know, because they were strong people, you know. Anyways, so basically, he was showing off, you know, he was flexing with his new PSP. And if you guys don't know what PSP is, it's PlayStation Portable. It's got a lot of cool games. And it was really cool at the time. You know, I was like, wow, that's so cool. And he's always, you know, he was always messing with me and bullying me and picking on me and whatnot. And basically, I snapped one day, and it was the end of the school year. I think it was like the last week of school. And I never went to school the last week. So, it was the second to last week, and it was a Friday. And this kid's picking on me, and he left his PSP in the coat room. And basically, I went in there, and, you know, he wasn't there. I say coat room, it was more of the backpack room. Like, in, you know, colder areas, it's called the coat room, but it was really where we put our backpacks and lunch boxes, so we wouldn't be tempted to go in there and, like, you know, stuff like that. So I go in there, during lunch. Everybody left for lunch, and I was in the bathroom. And I planned this out. I went and got blueprints of the school type thing, you know, I got blueprints on the wall. I'm measuring with rulers how I'm gonna do this. You know, I was ready. I was planning a heist. I was gonna steal his PSP. Because I knew he had money. So, you know, come lunchtime, you know, teacher goes, not realizing I'm in the bathroom, because I'd been in there for like 20 minutes while the movie was going. And the way the bathrooms were set up was, there's one classroom, there's a hallway, and then there's another classroom. And that's how my whole school was set up for, you know, most of my life. Because I went to these kind of schools for a lot of my life. Anyways, so basically, you know, teacher left, and I waited about 5 or 6 minutes just to be sure that, you know, nobody's in there. And I go out and nobody's in there. But you leave your backpacks when you go to electives and lunch, which electives are like, well, you guys know what electives are. Anyway, so basically, you know, they're out at, I think it was PE that day. And, you know, I go out, and I go in the room, and I take the, I take his little, crap, what is it, his PSP. I'm trying to think of the name. So, I took his PSP, and I shoved it into my backpack, and, actually, no, I didn't shove it in my backpack. I shoved it in my lunchbox, and I left. You know, I left it in my lunchbox, and I left. I went on to PE, and I was a little bit late, and when they asked me what happened, well, they actually didn't ask me, because I got there while everybody was doing jumping jacks, and I just jumped in with everybody. You know, I started doing jumping jacks as if I had already, as if I had been there the entire class, you know, and basically, you know, we got back to class, and I guess he didn't realize it until the end of the day, because he goes in there, and she's like, alright, you guys can play with your stuff. So, he goes in there, and he's, like, looking all around for it, like, have you seen it, you know, and he's talking crap to me, and honestly, I wasn't in the mood for it, and, I mean, it didn't matter, because I did steal it, you know, like, yeah, he was talking crap to me, but he was right to do it, because I did steal it, but he wasn't talking crap like, oh, you stole it, you know, he's still, right now, making fun of me, and talking crap, I have no money, and yada, 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 so, I took that, and I kept it, and right before I got off my bus, oh boy, well, I didn't tell him right before I got off my bus. I told a bunch of my friends, and they told him. But, I didn't care. Nothing they could really do about it, and there was no proof. So, I go to school, the last day of school. I said, Mom, they're having a party. I want to go the last day. So, I get on the bus, and I go. Okay? It's the last day, and I didn't bring it with me. I'm not that stupid, okay? So, you know, I'm there in class, you know. And he's talking crap. Now, the day that I stole it, he's like, oh, I don't care, you know, my parents are rich enough to buy me a brand new one today anyways. You know, they'll buy me another one no matter what. And I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. So I went the last day, and I'm like, so, did your parents buy you a new one? He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, did they buy you a new PSP? He's like, no, you poor motherfucker, and, you know, he's cussing me out. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So, this kid, right, he rode my bus, right, and, wait, did he? No, my bad, he didn't. We used to ride the bus together. Before I got on my bus, you know, he got on his bus before me. I said, hey, I stole your DS. And as he's getting on his bus, he's like, what? And he chases after me. Not DS, PSP. Gosh. I'm thinking about a DS because I'm like thinking Nintendo because I did steal one of those too, but it was like completely different reason, completely different situation. Anyways, so basically he's like, he chased me to my bus, and he's like, what did you just say? And I said, I stole your DS, you fucking prick. And I got on my bus, and he calls the principal over, he's like, hey, you know, he just told me he stole my DS. And she's like, is this true? And I'm like, no, I didn't steal his DS. And she's like, she stopped my bus, and she's like, do you mind if we go through your bag? And I'm like, no, I don't mind at all, I don't have his DS. So, she, you know, she called me up the bus, and she makes the bus wait a little bit. She goes through my bag, you know, takes everything out, and she checks my pockets. I emptied my pocket, and I had nothing in them. I had a pencil in my pocket, because I didn't have a phone then. And she said, well, why would he lie about this? I said, because he doesn't like me. He bullied me all year. You know, you can ask my teacher. He's a bully. He's you know, he's mean to me. And she's like, all right, you know, no problem. You can go on with your day. And she actually called his mother. She's like, you know, she said she was gonna call his mother, and she didn't. I didn't find this out until the next year because it was, you know, I'm pretty sure it was 4th grade though. Okay, but I found out the next year, you know. But basically he couldn't do anything. Anyways, so I basically took his DS, which again I was so happy. I'm like, yeah, not DS, PSP, God. And I'm so happy I got it, right? And basically, I'm riding the bus, and you know, there's this little kid there, and I'm playing it. No, I'm not. It was not the school bus that year. It was the next year, in the beginning of the year. Okay. Because I kept it all the summer, because I didn't have a game console. Okay, I had a TV. I had one TV with one cable box, and that was in the living room. And usually my parents were watching it, so I just sit in my room, you know, no money, none of that. So I'd always be playing it, you know. I went out and I had one of my friends. He had 2 of them. He had one that broke, and he got a new one. He got one, and he had the charger for it. So he's like, yeah, man, I'll give you the charger, you know. And that's what he did. He gave me the charger for it, and I played it the entire summer. So I go to school the next year, you know, first day of school, and I'm playing it, and there's this kid there, and he, you know, he's eyeballing, and he's like, wow, you know, it's a little kid, you know. He's like first, second grade, and he's like, that's so cool. And I knew that look because I was always like that, you know. And this kid's like, his clothes are all worn, and you know, usually at the beginning of the year, everybody's got like newer clothes. His clothes were all worn. He was wearing a white collared shirt that was dirty, you know. His shoes looked beaten up, and I was like, I felt bad, you know, because I knew, you know, I still do know what it's like to be like that. But of course, I knew, you know, I never had it that bad, and I'm like, gosh. And I had the PSP, and I had the charger with me, so I asked him, and he's looking over the seat, and I'm like, you want to play? And he's like, yeah. So we sat there and we played. You know, he was playing GTA or something, and he's sitting there playing, and you know, I'm smiling, and I'm like, you know, I'm a good person, you know, I'm gonna play. And then there was this thing in my heart, and it said, you know, you got to give it to him. And at first, I think to myself, I'm like, what the hell did I just say? Like, it took me some work to get this. I'm not finna give it away. But then I'm like, you know, I have to. You know, I know what it's like to be where this kid is, you know, I have no money. So, you know what happened? That to this day, that kid still has that DS. I'm sure of it. Or PSP. God almighty, I'm going to keep calling it a DS. He probably still has that PSP, I'm not going to lie. Okay? And it wasn't none of them, it was good, okay? It was very nice, you know, I loved it. You know, not going to lie, I miss it. Oh, God. But yeah, I miss it, and it was really, you know, nice. It was really nice to have, basically. And I felt like a better person because I gave it to somebody who didn't have much, you know. And again, I felt, you know, good about it because I'm like, yeah, you know, I gave it to him and he didn't have much money. So yeah, that's basically what happened. And you know, in my defense, if you are, you know, watching this video for some reason, you know who you are. You're watching this video. You remember me, you know, Jason, the kid who you used to pick on for having no money. Number one, you can go fuck yourself because I'm sure you don't have as much money, you know, as I do now. I'm sure you're not living as comfortably as I am now, okay? Because, lo and behold, my parents had a secret talent and the motherfuckers was hiding. With all due respect to them, I love them, okay? Was hiding, and that's that they know how to flip cars. And I'm kind of mad that they didn't abuse that talent beforehand. Because I went through 10 discriminating years of being bullied for having no money. Plus, I was weak, so, you know. It was not fun, basically is what I'm saying. But anyways, you know, of course, dealing with that, it wasn't, like, the best. But, what the heck? Undead Man what? So, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying, you know. But I'm trying to, like, drag this story out as long as I can. You know. But yeah, if you are still, you're watching this for some reason, and you know who you are, if you can name the school, you know, the elementary school that it happened at, I will gladly go out and buy a PSP for you and buy all the games, because I stole it out of a case. I stole the casing, okay? I will gladly go out and get you the PSP, you know, I'll get you all the games, you know, because I'm not going to lie, it was wrong of me, but I knew your parents had the money to get it, because, you know, you're wearing Jordans, you're always having new clothes. But that's pretty much the end of the story here, guys. Like this video if you guys like it, share it, flick it, and subscribe for more. Honestly, I hope that kid was kind of happy with it, because I did give him. I still had the kid's casing. Like, you know, it wasn't one of them big bulky cases, but it was enough to fit the PSP in about 12 games. So I took that and I gave it to him and had the charger in it and everything. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, keep it. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. And he was so happy. And honestly, the smile on his face was worth it to me. It really was. You know, just seeing his smile and seeing him smile and being, you know, happy, it was honest to God worth it, you know. So yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching. Like this video if you guys like it, share it, like it, and subscribe for more.